Welcome to the Here Is Your Real Info podcast show, a dynamic and diverse program packed with inspiring conversations, personal growth tips, cryptocurrency insights, fitness motivation, conscious living, education, and more. Our show features multiple segments, each designed to spark your curiosity and fuel your passion. One of our most popular spaces is our exclusive music segment, featuring positive, empowering tracks you won't find anywhere else. To enjoy the full music experience and get access to exclusive content, visit KEEPTHEFLAME.STORE.
Welcome to another deep dive. We're going to dig into something that feels like it's everywhere these days, the World Economic Forum, the WEF.
Right, the WEF.
And those big future-y goals they always talk about, 2030, even 2050. You sent over some seriously interesting articles, notes, all that, so we're here to help cut through all the noise. What's the real need-to-know stuff?
It's true. It's easy to get lost in the weeds with this topic. Our mission today, if you will, is to distill everything down, find those crucial connections between ideas that seem, at first glance, kind of all over the place.
Because, let's be real, the future isn't just some abstract thing, right? This stuff the WEF's talking about, it'll actually affect us. But First things first, we got to start with the big dog in the room, the WEF itself. You mentioned your notes, always picturing them as, well, a bunch of elites in Davos.
Yeah, it's an image a lot of people have, but it doesn't tell the whole story. Like your research pointed out, they were founded back in '71, right? With this mission, improving the state of the world.
Yeah.
Key phrase in there, though. Public-private cooperation.
Okay, interesting. And we'll definitely circle back to that whole cooperation thing. Is it always as simple as it sounds? But first, let's make sure we're all on the same page here. When we talk about the WEF, their influence, what are we actually talking about? What does that look like?
You got it. Great question. Your source, straight from the WEF's website, it talked about their work on reskilling millions of workers, getting them ready for that digital economy. It gives us a peek into how they operate. It's not about making laws. It's about, getting governments, businesses, organizations all working together to tackle those big, hairy challenges.
So they're like the ultimate global matchmaker, bringing together the people with the power, the resources to actually get things done. But like any good matchmaker, I bet there are questions about their motives. Does everyone actually benefit equally from these connections?
Exactly. That's the tension, right? And it's something we're going to see again and again as we dig into Agenda 2030.
Which, speaking of, feels like the perfect transition. We all know the U exists, obviously. But Agenda 2030, those 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Where does the WEF fit into all of that? Feels like we're wading through alphabet soup sometimes, doesn't it? UN, WEF, SDGs.
So, cut to the chase for me. What's the big idea behind Agenda 2030? Why should we even care?
You're telling me, right, it's a lot. Okay, so Agenda 2030, basically, it's like this big, ambitious plan, right, for a better future, more sustainable, more equitable, all that. All 193 UN members signed off on it. All of them. Wow, okay, so everyone agrees this is important.
Right. It's a shared vision. But here's the thing. It's not actually legally binding, which, considering how much they're trying to do, that's kind of interesting. You specifically mentioned Goal 13 in your notes, which is all about climate action.
Right, climate action. Huge topic. What does that actually look like on the ground, though? And how does the WEF play into it?
It's not just about cutting emissions.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
But you know that Global Risks Report, the WEF puts out every year.
Yeah, I've seen it.
They constantly rank climate change as, top 3 threat to the global economy. And this is where you see their whole public-private cooperation thing in action.
So connecting governments with businesses, trying to push for more investment in, renewable energy, sustainable infrastructure, that kind of thing.
Exactly. The WEF, they're like the facilitators, getting everyone together, starting the conversations, pushing for those solutions that actually line up with Agenda 2030. And climate action front and center.
Sounds like a pretty powerful position to be in. But you mentioned some skepticism about the WEF's role, too. What are the downsides? There's got to be another side to this.
Oh, absolutely. Some people say, look, the WEF, they're all about those market-based solutions.
Yeah.
And those might not be enough to deal with the root causes of climate change, right? It's a systems problem.
Makes you think. So it's not just about what Agenda 2030 is trying to do. It's about how they get it done. And that, I got to say, that leads us perfectly to this whole 2050 thing.
Yeah.
The world the WEF seems to envision. What really stood out to you from the research about those 2050 projections?
Honestly, it's how interconnected everything is. They talk about decarbonization, obviously, But then there's also this huge focus on tech innovation. And then on top of that, global inclusion. It's not just that these are big, impactful things. It's that they're all tangled up together.
Yeah, you're right. They do keep popping up as a package deal. It's like the WEF saying, look, we can't have one without the others. So let's break it down piece by piece. Decarbonization first. What's the vision there? Paint me a picture.
Net zero emissions, that's the goal.
Which, just to clarify.
Oh, right. Your research, it defined it as like a state where the amount of greenhouse gases we're putting into the atmosphere is the same as the amount being taken out to sea. Balance, basically.
Got it. Balance.
And the WEF, they're really pushing for this fast transition to a low-carbon economy. No more messing around.
And that, I'm guessing, is where all the tech innovation comes in, right? Because we're not hitting net zero without some serious breakthroughs.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. Your research, it highlighted how the WEF keeps talking about the fourth industrial revolution.
Okay. And that is?
AI, for one, artificial intelligence. Then you got robotics, biotechnology, the big guns.
Okay, so now we're talking robots. Not just A&E robots, but like AI robots.
Yeah.
And this is where that future shock starts to set in, right?
It's definitely a valid concern. Even the WF admits that jobs are going to be lost, replaced by automation. And that's why they're putting so much emphasis on this global inclusion piece. Your research mentioned their work on those reskilling programs, getting people ready for this tech disruption.
So like a massive global retraining program, teaching people the new skills they'll need in this automated, decarbonized world?
Pretty much. But it's not just about, like, learning to code or whatever.
Ah.
Your source from the WEF, it emphasized soft skills, too.
Soft skills? Like what?
Things robots can't do, at least not yet. Critical thinking, creativity, emotional intelligence, all those uniquely human things.
Interesting. So it's not enough to just be tech savvy. You got to be human savvy, too. Almost like the WEF is saying, hey, to survive the future we're building, you got to double down on your humanity, which honestly is kind of a comforting thought, less scary than, robots taking over.
It definitely has a more optimistic spin.
Yeah.
Right? But we got to be real. There are pitfalls here. Your research also mentioned criticisms of this whole reskilling thing.
Oh, yeah. Look away.
Some people argue it puts too much burden on individuals, like, hey, just go learn some new skills. But it ignores those bigger systemic issues, like inequality.
Right. Like we're constantly walking this tightrope, optimism on one side, skepticism on the other, hoping for the best, but got to be ready for the challenges too.
Totally. And that tension, it's really obvious when you look at the WEF's, shall we say, infamous Great Reset initiative.
Okay, so before we get too far down the rabbit hole of robots and reskilling, we got to talk about it, right? The Great Reset. It's like unavoidable at this point. You specifically asked us to unpack this, and I get it. It's everywhere online.
Oh, yeah. It's become this huge EE buzzword. And honestly, there's a lot of misinformation out there about it. Conspiracy theories, the works. But your research, it focused on what the WF actually said about the Great Reset, how they framed it.
Which, let's be real, it was 2020, the world was freaking out, everything stopped.
Exactly. Your source, straight from the WEF, back then, they called it a unique window of opportunity.
A window of opportunity?
Yeah, to, shape the recovery, build something better after the pandemic. They were saying, look, the pandemic showed us where we're vulnerable. Healthcare, the economy, all of it. Things needed to change.
So not just bouncing back to normal, bouncing forward, using the whole crisis to make real progress.
Yeah.
Towards a more sustainable future, a more equal one, all that good stuff.
Exactly. And they had those three main areas they wanted to focus on. Remember?
Refresh my memory.
Okay, so one, they were like, we can't just focus on shareholders anymore. The whole shareholder-driven economic model, they said it wasn't working.
Okay, got it broader than that.
Right. Then, two, building resilience.
Yeah.
Making sure our systems can actually handle shocks. Because who knows what's coming next, right?
Right. Can't just crumble the next time something goes wrong.
Exactly. And then, of course, number three, sustainability. That keeps coming up, but they're talking full speed ahead towards a sustainable world.
Okay, so this is about, big picture changes, the entire foundation of how our society works, our economy. But let's bring it down to earth for a second. For someone listening to us right now, what does this actually mean? How does this affect their life?
$1 million question, right? The WEF, they'd say, look, change means opportunities, but also challenges. Your research, it mentioned there'd be new jobs in those green industries. Renewable energy, that kind of thing.
So some jobs disappear because of automation, but others pop up in these new sectors.
Right. But it's bigger than just jobs, right? It's about building a society that's more resilient, more equal, Your research, it talked about how the WEF wants stronger safety nets, more investment in education and reskilling, and this idea of stakeholder capitalism.
Okay, stakeholder capitalism. Explain it like I'm 5.
So it means businesses aren't just beholden to their shareholders, the people who own stock. They're accountable to everyone. Employees, the community, the environment. Everyone's got a stake.
Interesting. It's a lot to wrap your head around, I gotta say. But it seems like the takeaway from the Great Reset, at least according to the WEF, is that we gotta rethink everything. How we do business, how we live together on this planet, if we want a future that's, not a complete disaster.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Now, will they actually pull it off? Who knows? There are definitely valid criticisms, like how much influence does the WEF actually have? Who really benefits from all these changes? Totally fair questions. But one thing's for sure, this conversation, it's more important now than ever. The WEF, Agenda 2030, the future we're building, it matters.
Couldn't agree more. And as always, dear listener, we gotta say, keep digging. Don't just take our word for it. Look for different perspectives. Come to your own conclusions. This deep dive, it's just the starting point.
Because at the end of the day, the future isn't something that just happens to us, right?
Yeah.
We create it with the choices we make, the conversations we have, what we do.
Boom. On that note of empowered action, we're going to wrap up this deep dive. Hope you found it insightful, maybe a little mind-blowing, who knows. But until next time, keep asking those tough questions, keep learning, keep diving deep.
One voice, one vision, united by purpose. Together we rise. From mountains high to oceans wide, we carry the dream, we walk with pride. Different roots, one sacred land, bound by love, together we stand. Hearts awakened, eyes that see a future shaped by unity. In every color, every creed, we plant the seeds the world will need. Together we stand, unshaken and true, lifting the world with the good that we do. Hand in hand we rise above, fueled by courage, hope and love. We are the fire, we are the flame, lighting the path, igniting change. Together we stand, this is our time, a symphony of souls aligned. We've known the storm, we've walked through rain, but every trial has shaped our name. Through every loss, through every fight, we found our power, we claimed our light. Voices rising bold and free, singing the truth in harmony. No turning back, the way is clear, our purpose stronger than our fear. In every heart there beats a call to rise again and stand for all. Not just a dream, but a living flame. Together we rise, together we reign. Together we stand, unshaken and true, lifting the world with the good that we do. Hand in hand we rise above, fueled by courage, hope and love. We are the fire, we are the flame, lighting the path, igniting change. Together we stand, this is our time, a legacy of love forever alive. No matter where we come from, no matter where we go, together we stand.